When you combine two awesome things, it makes sense that you'll get something awesome back, like chocolate and peanut butter, lasers and swords, titties and beer. It would also make sense that when you combine two things that are less awesome, you get something less awesome, like basketball players and genies.
I am Kazam!
And then sometimes it just goes horribly wrong. Case in point, Ninjabread Man. First, let's look at the box art, and I'd be lying if I didn't think this was completely awesome. It's just so absurd, it's great. Everything about this box art is perfect. Well, except for that one cupcake in the corner. He doesn't seem to be having as much fun as everyone else. How could something with such great potential just go so wrong? Well, for starters, let's look at how many levels there are in this game. There's 4. Well, actually, one of them is the training level, so there's actually only 3. The tutorial starts out by telling you how to move. Oh, I used the control stick to move. Never done that in a game before. I love how the directions in this game are just arrows pointing in various directions. Although that is how my parents taught me how to walk. Next up is jumping, which is as broken as... There's nothing as broken as the jumping in Ninjabread Man. To jump, you have to move the nunchuck up and down, but it's so unresponsive that it takes me 5 minutes just to get past the first series of platforms. This is the main problem with Wii games. Simple motions that could be mapped to a button are mapped to motion controls. Wouldn't it be just easier to press a button like this? Oh, come on, I have to use the Z button to jump? It doesn't say that anywhere in the game or in the instruction manual. In fact, the manual contains directions for things you can't even do in the game, like throwing bombs. This somehow has too much information too little at the same time. Now that I'm able to jump across 3 platforms, we move on to using the sword. Big surprise here, that doesn't work either. Most of your time spent with the sword will be swinging your arms in futility while Ninjabread Man just kind of stands there and gets hit. To be honest, the only time I actually used the sword was during the training level. Oh, and a funny thing happens when Ninjabread Man gets hit. He goes, oi. That's right, oi. This ninja is Australian. The reason you don't use the sword is because it just pales in comparison to the shooting attack. This is because it's the only thing in the game with actual functioning motion controls, and it can kill enemies in one hit when fully powered up. And according to the manual, these shots are quite weak and don't home in particularly well. Where did these guys learn to write English? YouTube comments? Someone has to tell them spell check doesn't fix incorrect word usage. The homing really can't be that bad, is it? I guess when they said the homing sucked, they meant you'll turn 90 degrees and shoot at the freaking wall. It's not that hard to shoot forward. Watch. Moving on, you may be asking what the point of this game actually is. By looking at the back of the box, we see that Candyland is under attack. Which is weird because the instruction manual says this game takes place in Sweet's World. Why do we keep looking at this thing? So I guess we kill the various pastries, bees, and pop zits, right? Nope, my candy-themed genocide seems to be without reason.
You're a monster!
Well, it seems the real point of this game is to collect teleporter pods and then enter a teleporter at the end of the level. So we have an Australian ninja in Candyland looking for teleporter pods. Well, this is what happens when you write your game using a Mad Lib. The first actual level is called the Lollipop Forest. Quick, guess how many lollipops are in the Lollipop Forest? That's right, just the 2 at the beginning of the level. So apparently it only takes 2 things to make a forest. Hey, I got a forest for you. This game doesn't really have levels though. It just has a bunch of small areas connected by long brown tunnels. A bunch of crap moving through brown tunnels. What does this remind me of? Oh, and I hope you like jumping across platforms, because that's basically all you ever do in this game. In fact, there's some parts of levels where the platforms don't even lead anywhere. Although I guess I should complain. Look what happens when they don't use platforms. You just kind of turn the corner and the teleporter pod's sitting right there on the ground. Was programming platforms getting too difficult or something? This game makes where's Waldo look like quantum physics. I wonder how bad the developers were at playing hide and seek when they were kids.
1, 2, 3. Here it comes. Ah,
To be fair, the developers did get creative once. And only once. There is a pod across a grid pattern floor, and when you step on the wrong square, you'll fall through the floor and onto the lava below. Underneath the floor, they show you the correct path to take, so you have to memorize it and follow the path to get to the pod. The problem is, you can jump. Really, all you have to do is jump down the middle and you'll probably land on the path and you can just jump to the corner and get to the pod. Good idea, poor execution. Hey, that's one of the quotes on the back of the box. Okay, finished the second level. I'm just gonna run through the third. Let's see. Platforms, 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 brown tunnel, platforms, 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 just sitting there, platforms, 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 and that's it. Well, now that I've beaten the final level, let's see the ending.
Nothing! Absolutely nothing!
The game froze. Do I have to play it all over again? Okay, here's the ending. What?
So you get nothing! You lose! Good day, sir!
I'm not kidding. You don't get anything. Not even end credits. It just kind of kicks you back to the main menu. The game just stops. Even Monster Go-Go had a narrator at the end telling you your disappointment.
There was no trail. There was no giant, no monster, no thing called Douglas to be followed. There was nothing in the tunnel but the puzzled men of courage who suddenly found themselves alone with shadows and darkness.
This can't be true. You told me this would be awesome! This box art is such false advertising. I've never been so disappointed by an impulse buy before. To rectify this, I've created an alternate box art which is a better description of Ninjabread Man. I'd hate to see what would happen if another one of these would blight the world with its existence.